screen
So,
recording right
welcome
now.
to Easy Melodies podcast. We have Michael Ferguson, also known as Mikey. I like to call him Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey, what's your name, age, and where are you from?
Well, my name is Michael Ferguson, but you guys can call me Mikey, Mike, Mikey Breeze, Mr. Breath, Tan Guy, whatever. And I'm 35 years old, and I travel the world in search for higher realms of consciousness, life, and health.
And based off of your content, is your end goal to increase your lifespan, or is it to reap the benefits and just go with the flow?
Yeah, totally. For me in my head, what's the point of living longer if there's no purpose? So my purpose in all this is fulfilling the purpose. I believe that we as humans were put here in reality to become aware of everything here. But you can only do that if you empower your consciousness. The dimmer your consciousness is, the less aware you are about geometry, shapes, frequencies, the world around you. But the more powered your consciousness is, the more you're able to detect even the slightest changes in frequencies, colors, or whatever's around you, which in turn extends your life, because the more aware you become, the longer you can live.
And I just learned that colors play a big role. They're so powerful. Like for example, the color red, it's considered like a dominant color. For example, some animals have the color red on their skin, and it's
Mhm.
just shown in in the animal kingdom. So that's why we portray red as like attractive or a little bit more dominant. It depends.
Yeah,
I guess it also depends on the person's mindset as well. So
of course. And our
we're
blood's red as well. So, it's almost like alert, danger, hey. So, like, if you see red on your skin, it's like an alert, like, oh my God, that might be blood. So it's like an alerting, it's powerful, it's connected with life.
for the people listening, we're mostly talking about health. So one of the things that caught my interest is cooking with oil. I
Okay, yeah.
your What's your opinion on that?
Okay, yeah, for sure. I mean, an oil is the extraction of either a seed, a plant, whatever they're sourcing it from. So you can get avocado oil, you can get flaxseed oil, you can get grapeseed oil, you can get any type of oil from, multiple sources. But anytime you extract anything from anything, it begins to break down. Anytime you take something from its original source, it automatically starts deteriorating and oxidizing, and that's whenever it's damaging to the body.
It
Whenever something breaks
changes.
down, it causes oxidation, which causes stress, which causes wrinkles and plaque and all these other things. So personally, instead of intaking the oil of something, I just go to the source, which breaks down at a slower rate, and then consume that. So I always try to stay away from oil, not because of what mainstream media is on right now, or at least like the health community, but for the primary reason of it's better just to go to the source. I'm always a source person. I don't want the mango shake. I just rather eat the
Eat the
mango, type of thing.
mango. And does that
Yeah.
include the avocado oil too? Because people, they say stay away from canola, avocado's better. Extra virgin. Do you still recommend staying away from that as well?
Yeah, of course. There's no reason to intake it. Like, just eat an avocado. Like, the oils are there. We as humans are
Mhm.
silly creatures. Like we want to finagle things and make it something greater, but it's already greatest in its whole form. Just
In its
eat an
form.
avocado. Yeah, because you don't just get the oil from it, but you also get, the healthy minerals, and you get all these things inside of the avocado as a whole. So anytime you extract it, you're losing properties of it. So just eat a whole avocado,
So, for
you know?
example, I switched from using, non-stick pans to just like straight, um, like steel or metal. I don't know what to refer it to as. And
Still
just
cast
make
out.
sure it doesn't have that, that non-stick thing to it. My problem is, let's say I cook an egg, but it gets stuck. That's why I would add oil. But I think you recommend just using butter, right?
Yeah.
So
Butter's
what would be a good replacement for butter? I've used water occasionally. Is there any replace something that I can use so that it just, I guess, just does my egg doesn't get crazy and stick on the thing?
Of course, totally. So there's a couple things that you can do. In my guide, I talk about not frying anything. So just try your best to stay away from frying foods. It oxidizes them very quickly. You lose nutrients. It's just there's better ways to intake nutrients. That's why we eat, is to intake nutrients so we can rebuild ourselves. So if you do want to like fry an egg, of course, like you said, butter, grass fed, non steroid injected cows that produce butter organically, that are pasture raised. Okay, that's always an option. But you can
Right.
always poach your eggs. You can always turn the heat down a little bit in your pan, and then you can scramble your eggs. So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. And of course, you can boil eggs, but I think, of course, there's also better ways for that too. But yeah, butter is a great thing. And another thing you could do is take some animal fat. So if you ever have some beef that you're cooking, what you can do is make a stew out of it in a broth, and the fat will rise to the surface. You can scoop some of that fat out, and you can use that to cook with as a cooking oil, and then it adds greater savor to your food, and
Yeah.
it makes the not stick to your pan.
And I was so my mindset was just so backwards. Like I told my grandma, we were in the store and they have like a can of lard and I don't know where it's from, probably most likely a
Yeah.
cow. And I go,
Yeah.
"Look, they're selling it, but I'm throwing it away." Because
Yeah.
in my mindset, at least then, it was like the less fat the better, just to, let's say like lose weight, for example.
Yeah.
And right now I'm on that switch where it's like, okay, I'm enlightened now. I'm aware that any oil is
Yeah.
bad. And I think I
Mhm.
might actually start considering that, that fat that comes from the sources that we use.
Of course,
So
yeah, for sure.
I'm on that switch right now.
And in my world, in my reality, there's no good or bad. So if you really want to use the oil, hey, you live once. Like, do what you
Mhm.
want. But ultimately, whenever you love yourself, you're no longer doing things out of discipline. You're doing things out of gratitude. You're not trying to eat this because you're whipping yourself into submission. Like, okay, you got to live this strict life. But you're
Mhm.
doing these things because you just want better for yourself. And it's a lot easier to carry on and be consistent in. But if you are doing out of willpower and like force, eventually your candle's going to burn out. You're going to get tired from it. So whatever you actually want to do, go do that and be honest with yourself, but cultivate and develop that self-love. And that's where you make the transition. And now you're just doing it out of love for self, you know?
And I have a tip for the people who are watching. Have like a full body mirror just to enjoy yourself. Like literally look at yourself and love yourself.
A
You were
lot of
talking
people
about.
move Yeah, a lot of people move out of discipline, out of,
Mm.
I call it self-hate. People can call it whatever they want to, but they don't like where they are. They're aggravated with themselves, the choices that they made. So
Mhm.
therefore, they're going to whip themselves into submission. They're going to whip themselves into
And I
shape.
do that. I do both of what a little bit of like, I love myself and a little bit of discipline. To
Mhm.
me, it's almost like a balance. It's almost like a balance. I do a little bit of both. I do play with both, but I think I'm starting to lean more towards like, okay, learning to love myself and just get healthy overall because my favorite quote that I've been saying is time is priceless, family is gold, and health is wealth. And
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
think about how rich you are. Time is priceless, family is gold, and health is wealth.
It's nice. I like that. Yeah, for sure.
You
We
can have
really
a
are wealthy.
billion dollars, but if you have a heart attack tomorrow, I mean, are you gonna, how can you enjoy life at all?
100%. And I heard this on another, like a short, maybe like on YouTube or somewhere else, but I heard the person say, hey, if I gave you $10 million, would you end your life tomorrow? You know? And like everyone says no. And I use that sometimes with people. I'm like, hey, look, if I gave you $10 billion, would you, take your life tomorrow? And they're like, and of course they
Hell
say no.
no.
And I say, well, why? Well, I can't use it then, of course. So unless you really take care of what really is right now in reality, you can't even use the things that you're trying to obtain. A lot of people who even become, because I've hung out with quite a few successful people in life, you end up
Mhm.
becoming so busy, you don't even get time to play with the things that you've always wanted, like the Ferrari or the boat and all this other stuff, because you're so tied to just sustaining the life, you never get the chance to enjoy it.
And talking about enjoying life, I saw one of your stories where I don't know if it was Sasha or if it was your other
Okay.
partner, I'm not sure, but it was like they had gray hair on the right side and darker hair coming from the root of their head. Now,
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
that from nutrition, or do you think actually enjoying life and as a whole, in a wholesome way had something to do with that?
Well, first off, a lot of people told me before I started this journey that everything I'm doing is impossible. Like you can't reverse grays, you can't be this fit without working out, you can't live this life. And then, of course, I'm like, all right, well, I'll go show you. So I'm going to go live it. So
Mm.
in obtaining this life, there's certain things that if you apply these actions and these methods and these ways of thoughts, your body ends up regenerating over time. So through just living this life that we talk about and that we're talking about here and in the guide
Mhm.
and everything else, it has reversed her grays. So she actually had gray hair, like quite a few. And then through the meditation, through the breathing, through the self-actualization, through allowing the trauma to come up, through eating the nutrition, through getting the sun, through grounding, through everything that we talk about,
So she
her gray
sunbathes. She sunbathes as
have
well.
gone away. Say again?
She sunbathes as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, she loves the sun. She loves the sun. So yeah. So she's out there in it as well. And the sun's going to help reverse that graying as well. A lot of us run from the sun, but the sun has so many benefits in it. And we can get to that later. But there's just so many powerful attributes that come with this star. This is our local star. So we can harness them.
Our local
And
star. True.
yeah. Yeah, every other star is far away. Like we can't really use it, but this one's like right here. Like use it while you can. So with that, all of her grays at the root have now not just a little bit of color has come back, but like halfway on the hair. If the hair is this long, halfway is colored,
I
and
saw
only
that.
her.
I was
And it's
shocked. I was amazed. I was like, how is this possible? Because the remedy that I've known to come is cool, I'll dye my hair. But yeah, you're
the part for dyeing your hair that I really look at. Yes, the chemicals are horrible. They can seep into your pores and they can cause so much
definitely
damage. But the real detriment is when a person dyes their hair, they're masking the problem so they can't see how heavy the problem has affected them. So you don't know
man.
how many gray hairs you have now compared to last year because you keep dyeing it, but you need to use those gray hairs as indicators to see where the state of your health actually is.
Where you
Hair is
are.
the hardest thing to grow back. I had a balding area like right here in my head. I had no hair here in the beginning.
Hmm.
About 2 years ago, I ended up growing my hair back. So I actually have hair here now. When I grow it out, like you could see, like my hair filled back in. Her hair has gone from gray back to colored. So like hair is like the last thing to come in your pursuit of health on this
Mm.
pathway because everything else is more important. You can live without
Yeah.
hair, but you can't live without heart. You can't live without your kidneys. You can't live without your lungs. Like you need that. So your body's sending all that energy to there first. But once you heal all those things, guess what? Your hair comes back. The grays turn to color again. That's like the
That's
sign that you made
that's
it.
a
And like now you're
first for
back
me,
level.
Mikey. I have never in my lifetime have I seen gray hairs reversed. Now, let me see. I saw a guy, he reversed diabetes, high
Mhm.
cholesterol, and high
Yeah.
blood pressure. And some people
Mhm.
tell me, like I tell them, you can reverse your diabetes. Obviously, it's if it's not like in the most intense stage. I'm saying you can reverse your diabetes. And guess what they tell me, Mikey? They're like, "No, you can't." I say,
Uh,
"Yes, you can." Okay, I'm gonna tell you a personal story. My brother, he was like 1 point away from being diabetic. And
mhm.
so we changed his eating habits completely, and now he's 1 point away from being off of the pre-diabetic chart completely. Like
Yes. Congratulations to
that's
him.
that's the dramatic change, and I think what you're doing is, and what we're talking about is revolutionary. Like health has been, you know, it's been talked about all the time, but the thing is, in today's age, I mean, eating habits have changed. There's McDonald's in every corner. It's different, especially in the States, to be precise.
Yeah.
To be precise. So
100%. Eating habits changed a lot because of convenience. Like now time is so compacted. We have drive time, we have work, and now people are going to the gym. So like everyone's looking for something quick. Even the health community is still looking for like maybe like protein bars or like keto bombs or something like that. Where
yes,
we're looking for something quick, but anything fabricated disrupts our digestive system. So we have to eat things from the source itself, whether it's the whole food, like it's the fruit, the nut, the seed, the meat, the whatever. So when we steer away from that and start going towards things that are prefabricated, those that destroys our digestive tract, and we end up not absorbing nutrients. We damage our gut, and quite a few things come along with that. Premature aging, so many other things. So we just got to really just go back to the earth. That's my
Go
answer.
back to the earth. And I recently started making my own like homemade ranch or like a home I've done like a homemade barbecue. And there's things that I didn't realize like when I look in the back of let's say the bottle of a ranch dressing, I see things that I can't even pronounce.
Of
And
course, yeah. That's like
one of
20
the
syllables.
one of the things that I learned was that if you have to look at the back of a item and look at the label, it's because it's bad for you. Like if you go to the grocery store and you go to the aisle where there's fruits and veggies, you if you turn the apple, there's no nutritional facts. Like that's it right there. There's no
The funny,
nutritional facts.
the funny thing is they're actually starting to make apples now to where like there's some extra ingredients added. There's like the pill for the coating and all this other stuff. So it's getting there, soon enough. But we got to watch out now for fruit and everything else.
And that's a whole nother can of worms that I'm personally not even ready to open. Like I don't even know where to start because I try to
Very well.
trust the food that I get, meats and chicken and veggies and fruits. I know I'm doing good by choosing the healthier option, but even then, like I said, the can of worms is like the
Yeah.
hormones that they may be, putting or pesticides on the plants and fruit in order for them to we get bigger bananas or that kind of thing. And oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God, that's what shocks
It's,
me the most, and I hope that it doesn't affect me, but, it's nothing that I can do. I just go to the store per se.
hey, you're doing great. Just keep taking your time and building up your energy. The more energy you have, the more you'll be able to deal with these things. But you're on the right path, and just keep growing. I see it as this: it's better to lay down one brick right now than
Mm,
than to try to lay down 100 bricks and get tired and burnt out and walk away from it. But
and
if you lay it
burn.
down every single day, that's 365 bricks versus being burnt out from trying to lay 100 bricks. So just consistency is the key. Always take it slow in everything you're doing. That's what I am a big proponent in. Never pushing yourself or overexerting or trying to reach a goal in like a day. Like if you are serious about expanding your life and living for a long time, what's the rush? Like you're
Mm.
going to be. So just take it as you can apply it, and try not to ever put anything on that you can't see yourself being consistent in.
Yeah, yep. And let me see. So one of the I'm thinking about a topic right now that since we're talking about health, moving on a little bit to the fitness, and one of the questions and one of the topics that come up, I should say, is fasting. So,
Mhm.
do you recommend fasting for everyone?
Man, I am burned at the stake for this answer. I'm talking about people come after me. They send threats because I say what I say.
And it's a
I
loaded,
personally,
yeah, it's a loaded answer, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So my personal belief and what I've seen so far is that fasting is socially acceptable anorexia. That's it. People starving themselves and they congratulate themselves. And it's like a mini trophy. Hey, I did a 3-day fast, a 4-day fast, which is cool. And they even
Mhm.
say, hey, I feel great after my fast. But again, as long as you're doing the fast, you reap the results. But the moment you stop fasting, you're right back into everything else that was, deteriorating you.
That was there before.
Exactly. Yeah. So when a lot of people fast and I see them fast, if you don't do it right, it can actually implement or impede on your cognitive functions. It can implement brain fog. You can be like low glycemic and not really be there. For me, the purpose of being in reality is to be present and be here. If I'm fasting and I'm not even in my and let me know if this dog is too loud. I can like go inside or something like that.
I don't hear a dog.
Okay, cool, perfect. So
I'm here in the
when
present right now. That's why they call it the present. It's a gift.
I love it, yes,
It's
exactly.
a gift.
So anything that would impede on me being in the present,
Hmm.
is taking you away from life. And sometimes when your blood sugar's low or you're low glycemic or you're fasting, you're kind of like not all there. So a better way that I found out is instead of trying to fast, heal your body so much to the degree to where you have everything covered and you just stop being hungry. And when you're no longer hungry, don't eat. And you can start pushing that into like maybe intermittent fasting, then
Hmm.
OMAD. I don't get hungry all day, so you just eat your one meal. And then from there,
Yeah.
I've been able to push it to I eat once every 4 days, and then I eat once every 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days. When you have the right nutrition and you finally heal your body, there's no energy wasted. So you just stay full. So now I'm
Mhm.
on a plan where I personally eat once every 20th day.
And
And
you
it's not
don't
like, hey, I
feel
did
hungry within those days, is what you're saying.
I know. No, I haven't eaten in 12 days. I'm on my 12th day so far. I feel great. I look great. I'm not withering away. No
And
one would suspect me eating.
I'm
I'm
not
talking
withering,
very
I'm
coherently.
not withering away. That's funny. But it's because I know that you're keeping track of everything. So every time, from the content that I've seen, say you started off with a week, then it was 2 weeks. Now every time you amp it up, do you add 1 day or 2 days? How do you personally just amp it up?
Usually I'll add just one day, but sometimes
Okay.
I'll feel like, okay, 2 days. Like this last one, I went from 18 days and now I'm on 20 days. I just feel I gauge it by the day I eat. How do I feel on that day? And because by the 18th day, like this past one before, I wasn't that hungry still. So I'm like, oh, I can go another 2 days, but let me go ahead and stick to my plan and I'll eat this 18th day. But next time I'll go ahead and do it there. But in the past, like let's say I'm doing a 4 day.
Mhm.
If I go to my fourth day and I'm hungry on the third day, I need to make sure that I don't try to push it to five.
We just got disconnected, and this is exactly what happens to Mikey when he starts talking about the truth. This is what
That's
we
pretty
get for
funny.
talking about the truth.
This is it. This is it. Every single time. It's wild. It's like you can. It's so faithful. You can count on it. You can like to the second. Like all right, we'll get cut off in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we were talking about fasting, and I've tried fasting for 2 days. I heard the benefits of it. I tried it out. I was able to do like 2 days, and I was like, you know what? This is not sustainable. I want to have
Mm,
something sustainable. Let me see.
that's very
And
true.
let me see. Let me
So
see.
I can get into my politics about it.
Hmm.
Now, other people, of course, again, like I say, I've been burned at the stake for this, but ultimately, um, I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible. Fasting in and of itself is just a quick fix to lose weight. This is what most people that they fast because they want to be skinnier. If you don't like where you are now, you'll do drastic things to try to get there because it's
Right.
not done in self-love. So again,
Guilty.
you'll starve yourself. So whenever you do that, guess what? Systems shut down. Your hormones aren't functioning properly. Your neurological functions, your cognitive functions aren't functioning as properly. There are some mental benefits to fasting, but if you do this healthier way first, like I've mentioned, it supersedes fasting. It trumps it. You don't have to do the fasting. So if you do this, you feel better. So if you ever do incorporate fasting, it's like a compound effect.
And as far as because I think I understand what you do, which is you said you don't get hungry for, let's say, a few days to a few weeks.
Mhm.
But what do you think about drinking a gallon of water a day? You said you hardly drink water. I thought I heard you mention it. I'm like, he doesn't drink water, and that
Yeah, yeah,
also threw me for a loop.
yeah. Pretty much, I feel as if, or pretty much, it seems as if every
Mikey doesn't drink
health,
water.
yeah,
What?
that's like the fitness health for everyone. Like, hey, drink water, drink water, drink water.
True.
Well, I personally don't. I may drink a cup of water every 2 weeks. That's about the amount of water, actual just water that I drink. Usually, whenever you drink water, especially like the more purified it is, distilled and everything else, it's going to end up sapping resources from you. Water has an electrical charge to it, an
Mhm.
ionic charge, and it's going to uh, draw in different minerals on its exit from your body. So you're going to end up displacing those minerals out in your urine. Those
Exactly.
minerals are so necessary, especially if you're fasting or you're doing anything. You need every single mineral inside of you because it conducts electricity. It turns on certain signals in your genes and functions. Well, if you're missing any of those, your body can't function properly. So a lot of people who are just chugging water, yeah, they're losing weight because their body's not able to function properly. You're actually atrophying.
Mm.
So
And
that's why I
so,
stay away from water. But yet, whenever you see me, my biceps is big as someone's head because I keep and I store all those minerals and I make sure I put them all to use.
and the contrary to that would be, if you drink, and this is what I've heard, because I've mentioned, okay, yeah, if you drink a lot of water, you may be urinating a lot of your
Mhm.
minerals, your vitamins, and all
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
And the person told me, okay, but what about the toxins you're flushing? And I was like, Okay, that was good. So what do you think
I
about
love it.
that, Mikey? They said
A hundred
you
percent.
flush your toxins, and I was like, dang, they stumped me. I was like, all right.
That's so beautiful. So again, I always try to go to the source. So I try to go to each level of it. So if a person's like, hey, water, okay, toxins, right? But I'm like, well, why are there toxins in me? If I just stop the toxins at the source, I don't need to try to flush out water or do a gimmick to try to get rid
Oh
of
my
toxins because they were never
God.
in me in the first place. I'm only flushing out toxins because I haven't been aware enough to find where the toxins are coming in. But if I shut that
Mhm.
gate off, guess what? My body
There's
stays
no
healthy and I don't need
toxins
to
to
flush anything out.
flush. Dang, Mikey,
Yeah.
you're out of this world, Mikey.
I'm
I
trying
can't
to.
believe you. So
Yeah.
please,
So
please shout out to Mikey. Mikey, shout out your
thank you so
handles.
much.
I'll type it in right here.
Totally.
Shout
It's
out all your shout out Mikey. Shout out Mikey.
thank
Get
you
his
so much.
life guide.
Thank you so much. It's Mikey Breathes, Mikey Breathes, and that's on Instagram. That's TikTok. You can find me on Facebook as well, and every social media app as far as Mikey Breathes. So yeah. And if you guys do want the life guide, it's theguide.life. So the guide, like guiding light, like theguide.life, LIFE.
And I'm gonna go ahead and link that in the description below for everybody who's watching. I'm trying to release my bad habits and create more beneficially healthy and holistic ones now. So
Yeah.
an example of that would be like I've recently started turning on my airplane mode, and
Okay,
that
cool.
pretty
Yeah.
much lowers like the EMF on your phone. And for
Exactly. Yeah.
people who don't know what EMF stands for, it stands for electric magnetic fields. And
Yeah.
that pretty much your phone is always on alert. Am I going to receive a phone call? Am I going to receive a text message? So every night I've been turning that on, and making sure that I get better sleep because it lowers your melatonin. So melatonin is like that sleeping hormone that aids in your sleep. So now if you're lowering that, you're not getting a good night's rest. So that's something that
Yeah.
I've been doing personally. Um, do you do that? Is that something you do? I know people who literally grab their phone, take it to another room, and then sleep in another room. I mean, is
That
that
is
something you've
awesome.
been doing?
Well, I mean, first off, I want to say I'm proud of you. Like for taking it to that level, most people don't take it this seriously. So for you to do that, that's amazing.
It's a journey. I'm
Um,
trying. I'm learning from people like just like you.
I mean,
It's
you're
hard
doing
to
it. This is
find.
it.
You're a diamond in the rough, I tell you.
So are you. I mean, you were so polished. I mean, you're and the cool thing is you're bringing this to the people. So I'm very proud of you for all that.
Exactly. I
The
want
question was,
everybody to learn.
yeah, for sure. So I do the same thing. So I actually keep my phone on airplane mode and I never turn the cellular data on ever. I will keep
Ever.
it on never. I never turn my because cellular data, these cell phone towers, your phone receiving the signal is the highest source of EMF that there is. It's the electromagnetic frequency, and there's nothing wrong with EMFs necessarily because the sun, the solar winds, and the rays all produce EMF. The ground and everything else around us produces it. But there's a non-native EMF that's manufactured that disrupts our cells, and then from that, yeah, your melatonin, your cellular signals to each other, like your cells need to communicate with each other. But if there's
Mhm.
a disturbance in them, they won't be able to communicate properly. So when there's cellular division happening, you could lose data. It could lead to cancer, and lymphoma, so many other things. So you
And
want to
we
try to stay
have
away from non-native
5G.
EMFs as possible.
We have
Say
5G.
again?
That's one of the strongest, like,
Yeah,
it's gonna get stronger. 6G, I'm pretty sure already
exactly.
exists. I've been telling people
Oh
it's
yeah.
6G is gonna come out, and they didn't believe me. They thought I was crazy. And long and behold, it
Yeah, for sure.
already exists. So I'm just happy to relay this information to people who are listening if they gone this far in, and we're giving them that wisdom, hopefully that we can spark that change in them too. Like if
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
doing well, I want everybody around me to be healthy, healthy,
Yeah, for
to
sure.
just enjoy life
100%.
better. And
I believe that. Yeah, go ahead.
another thing is that there was this guy I was listening to. He was saying that he hardly sleeps because he enjoys life so much. And
That is cool.
and my father always says a third of your life is spent sleeping. And this guy,
Mhm.
and last time you said, I've been having trouble sleeping. And I go, Mikey, what is going on? And I was like, am I having this too? Like, what is going
This is
on?
wild, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I don't necessarily have any trouble sleeping because if I wanted to, I can just sleep on command. But
That's
I've been
good.
having so much energy and I feel so great. I just haven't needed to sleep. So I've been able to stay up for days and I still have energy. Because the whole point of sleeping is to like rest, repair, to detox and everything else. But if you're
Replenish.
not breaking down your muscles from working out, and if you're not having a bunch of toxins and you've already repaired yourself and everything else, then you don't really need to sleep as much. So now I'm going and I'm not really sleeping. In the past 7 days, I've only slept like 3 times in
And we
7 days.
think,
Yet I
I
feel
would,
great. I have a bunch of energy
yeah.
and everything else.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're telling me that you feel great, because it also matters what you've gone through. Not everybody is gonna be able to stay up a night or two. So the fact that you're not sleeping, it lets me know that you're enjoying life as well. Is
Yeah.
you're
I
not
mean,
needing to sleep. Because your body tells you what you need. And if not, there will be
100%.
signs.
100%. Everything is an indicator from your body. So if it's gray hairs, if it's wrinkles, if it's eczema or anything, if you're lethargic, if you have brain fog, if you have bad breath, if you have smelly armpits, everything
Mhm.
is your body trying to relay what's going on internally. And if you can listen to those signs
Man.
and interpret them correctly, you can technically raise yourself to a higher level. And then in that higher level, there's just more energy. You're stronger, you have more power, you can think faster. It's a higher way of life, but you have to listen to your body to get there. And no amount of supplementation can get you past that threshold. It just takes intuitive interpretation and truly knowing.
Let me tell you something funny. So I try to eat good, and I want to say about last week, because I've been tracking my food. It kind of just helps me. I If you ask me what I ate
Mhm.
yesterday off of the top of my head, I can't exactly remember. So I like to keep track. I remember when I went back, I saw that I had eaten Krispy Kreme donuts, tasty ones that my father brought,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I go, and I'm sensitive. I like within that same night or the next day, I'll usually go like, "Wait a minute, what's going on here?"
Yeah.
And okay, so this is I've been like, "Wait a minute," for like about a week now, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay." Eventually, I was like, what's going on?" And I go and I
Mhm.
was like, "What did I eat?" Because now I can't remember. And I go, boom, 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 boom. Krispy Kreme donuts? Are you serious?
Yeah, for
So
sure,
I
for
was
sure,
like,
for sure.
I know exactly what to stay away from. My body tells me. And what surprises me is that if I'm experiencing this, other people have to be experiencing this too. And if they're ignoring these signs, wake up.
Yo,
Wake
wake
up.
up.
Enlighten yourself. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's just it's a different way of living. And
It is for
I
sure.
think we'll cut off the podcast here. Is there anything you wanted to
Okay.
say for the viewers? Definitely, I want to just say, get his life guide for sure. It's needed.
I love you guys, but ultimately my goal with all this, the guide and everything else, the guide is like the book I wrote and everything. I just want you to love yourself because whenever you truly love yourself, you just do different actions. And when you do these actions in that love, you just have better health. You take care of yourself better. You're not forcing yourself. You're not trying to go to the gym or dousing a bunch of pre-workout to have some energy just to go like beat yourself up at the gym. When you operate in self-love, that's where your healing comes from. And that's all I really want to promote. Hey, I love you, and I just want you to love yourself, because that's where life is in you loving yourself. When you do that, everything else changes, financially, nutritional wise, relationships, in every way you can think of. When you truly develop that self-love, and it's not just like, oh, it's my B-day, I'm gonna drown myself in alcohol because it's my party, I'm gonna do what I want to, I'm gonna eat bad. When you see yourself as an infant, knowing this infant can't take care of itself, you wouldn't just give it alcohol or anything like that. You would coddle it, you would take care of it, you would check its temperature. Are you warm? Are you cold? Are you sick? And you're constantly checking in on it because it can't check in on itself. That's you. And you're observing you outside of you. And whenever you love yourself to that degree, your life becomes golden. So it's a very beautiful thing. And that's what I want to promote. That's my final message.
Everything changes around you when you love yourself. Like you said, step by step, one will change. I've noticed it myself. So, okay, you guys, like this video, comment if you found anything that caught your interest, subscribe, and hit up Mikey if you guys have any health questions. He is pretty much, in my eyes, like a health guru. So this guy is awesome, and that's it. So farewell, peace and love.
Awesome, Daisy. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. You're amazing.
You got it, Mikey.
All right, see you soon.